of Lake Simcoe. More specifically, welcome to ice fishing of 1989 on the ice offshore from Beaverton, a town of approximately 3,000 people located at the mouth of the Beaver River, about halfway up the eastern shore of Lake Simcoe. Ice fishing from this lake has been recorded since as early as 1815. There have been changes in the types of fish caught, in the ways that they're caught, the reasons for catching them, and in the equipment used by the fishermen. We are not going to record all these changes, but will give you a picture of present practices and realities as seen by our local fish hut operators and fishermen. So take you now to Mr. Bill Vivine of Floyd Hale's Fish Huts. How long have you had this business?
Well, this is our 10th year now, and I've been out in the lake pretty well, I don't want to say all my life, I guess, but I don't think Dad took me out when I was 2 or 3. But most of my life I've fished out here, either for perch or whitefish or trout, always anything we could catch. Right now we're over here, we're just southeast of Thor Island in about 30 feet of water. And our main catch here now is perch. Although in the last few years smelt have moved in, we get quite a few smelt, mainly at night. They seem to come to the light in the fish hut. And there's the herring, there's a few herring around. They're getting bigger, but there's not as many as there used to be.
You were saying some interesting things earlier on about stocking of the lake, that they're...
Yes, they stocked the lake going back to the 1800s with trout. Pretty much all the fish that are in the lake have been stocked at one time, except the herring. And earlier years, the whitefish weren't stocked. Now, they quit in the early 50s. They quit stocking, and then in the 60s, they started stocking whitefish and trout again. Now, most of our trout we catch, we have to go west of Thor Island into deeper water, and they're 99% that's caught now is stocked trout.
So stocking really isn't something new?
No, it's not new, and with the fishing pressure that is on the lake, it certainly is needed. Mm-hmm. The whitefish, the ministry is taking samples of all clipped whitefish that we catch, and even they're amazed at the size that they are in the few years that they have been stocked. All the fish that are stocked are really doing well. So the main problem is that the spawning beds are, I guess you may say that they're polluted. I don't know if I'd like to use that word, because I still feel the lake is really clean. I mean, we're still, the boys are out here working and they're thirsty. They don't think nothing of having to drink the water out of Lake Simcoe.
How do you see the future of ice fishing?
Well, the future, I think, as long as the government is really interested in the stocking program, we're close to Toronto, so there's a demand for the fishing and the recreation on Lake Simcoe. I don't think they'll let it die, and as long as the government's on our side, there'll be fish here forever.
Thank you, Bill. It's been a most
welcome.
interesting interview.
You're quite welcome.
Stringer of Stringer's Ice Huts. How long have you been in this business now?
About 7 years.
How did you get started?
By accident.
By accident.
Red Fisher got me started. I had no intention of getting into the fish hut business, but I got into it, and I'm in it.
Would you like to elaborate a little more, or would you like to talk about how people fish out here and what they catch?
Well, suit yourself, whatever you think is fair. We've been doing very, very well, and as you can see from our board, lake trout, whitefish, real nice jumbo perch, blueback herring, the odd lake trout in the shallow grounds, and pickerel, and the odd pike. We're doing real well.
You have some really excellent pictures up here of some prize fish. Would you like to say something about them?
Well, I wouldn't mind at all. We have one on there from Floyd Hales himself. The record trout for Lake Simcoe, 34.06, taken last year. I still have it on the board.
That's this
Right
one
there,
right here.
yes. As for the other fish, we change our pictures week by week, and as you can see, the catches are from getting their full quota of fish to, well, maybe not quite their first quota, but a lot of that is the problem is they don't know how to set up their lines, they don't know how to fish correctly like we do here in Lake Simcoe.
Would you like to say a little bit more about the right strategies for fishing correctly?
Well, it's a Lake Simcoe way of fishing, and anybody that knows Lake Simcoe real well has no problem at all, because they know how we fish here. Lake Skewgog or some of the other northern lakes, they fish absolutely different, but we have our own little special way of fishing. I think I have it right here. We have our little stick, which is very, very simple method of fishing, with a two-way spreader, an adjustable two-way spreader, which is you adjust having the hook up. When you put your bait on, you get a bite. You have no chance, hardly at all, of losing your fish, because if you get the barb up, once you set the hook, it goes right into the snout, and you don't have any more problems with them. And our stick goes on a balancing stand, and any little wee movement at all stands up. The lake trout out there, the best they do is make a little tick like that. And when you get that little tick, you just raise the line and you set the hook. They don't grab the line and run. Every so often one does and scares you, but not very seldom. Very, very seldom.
So if somebody doesn't catch fish out here,
It's they've brought their own fishing rod from home. Their way of fishing on another lake. And it just doesn't work here in our lake. It doesn't work. They might be lucky and catch one fish out of a fish hut, one lake trout or a whitefish in the deep grounds. But other than that, no, they don't see the bites. On a fish hut, you don't. A whitefish, when a whitefish takes a bite, the tip up stands right back in its stand like that, because the whitefish sucks the line up. And on a fishing rod, you don't feel that. There's nothing there. So you miss all the whitefish. And the lake trout, all they do is just tick, that's all. And they generally are waiting for something to grab the bait and run with it. And our fish don't do that.
So what is the quota this year?
2 lake trout or 2 whitefish per person. The pickerel are basically the same. Pike, I really don't know what the quota is on pike, because we just get the odd one. Perch, you can have as many as you want, and blueback herring, you can have almost as many as you want. The quota is so high that nobody generally catches that many, so there's no problems there.
How do you see the future of ice fishing in Simcoe?
Well, according to the last few years, I see it going down. As
Why?
far as weather for fishing, people want to come fishing. The only problem being is that it goes up to 36 and 38 and 40 degrees in the city of Toronto, and the cancellations start pouring in, and it hurts our fishing quite badly. Even though we might have 2.5 feet of ice, people are afraid, because they say, well, if it's that warm down in Toronto, it can't be very good here.
And that really isn't the case.
No, it is not, but it hurts our fishing, hurts our business quite badly. Because anybody that's in a fish hut operation nowadays, he has a very, very big outlay in money. And the best I have done over the last 7 years is it kept me out of mischief and just covered my expenses. That's about the size of it.
So you really stay in ice fishing because
I'm committed.
you're committed ice
I'm
fisher.
too deeply involved. I can't get out of it. I enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy it. There's something very, very special about it. It's a lot of hard work, but it's enjoyable.
Thank you very much, Harold.
Okay.
We now introduce Mr. Phillips of Camflin Ice Huts. Mr. Phillips, how long have you been in business here?
Well, this is the second year we've been in business. We've got this 2 years, we've had it 2 years now. And we've done a lot of hard work and a lot of improvements on all our machinery, as well as our huts. We've done a lot of work on it.
Why did you want to get into a business like ice fishing?
Well, I've fished since I was about 4 years old and always loved fishing. And I thought I'd fish Lake Simcoe, and then a couple of people gave me the idea of going into ice fishing, ice fish huts.
Did you know people here to get started here?
Oh yeah, I lived in Beaverton for 10, 12 years now, and I fished practically twice a week or more out on Lake Simcoe, which kind of gave me the idea from different fish hut operators plus people that I fished with.
What are people catching now?
Well, this year's been an exceptionally good year for pickerel, walleye, saintfish. It's been an exceptional year comparing with last year. They're catching them in the range of anywhere from 8 pounds up to 12, 13, 14 pounders. We've had quite a few people that are very happy with it, traveling all the way from Windsor, London, Toronto, and they just keep coming back. They're catching a lot of fish.
That leads into something we were talking about earlier, about the business of increased pressure on fishing on Lake Simcoe and the need for stocking this lake. Would you like to make some comments about that?
Yes, the ministry, I think, is doing a very good job on it, stocking the lake, and it definitely does need stocking. With the increased pressure from people have got more time now, and where people a few years ago used to come up maybe once, twice, 3 times a year, coming up 10 times a year, which causes a lot more pressure and take out a lot of fish out of Lake Simcoe. And with Simcoe being an hour from Toronto, and a very clean lake, people enjoy eating the fish, and they have a very good time up in the Lake Simcoe area.
How do you see the future of ice fishing?
Well, I can see it increasing. The population around the Beaverton area is always growing, and more people are coming up to fish. And this is why, as I mentioned earlier, it's quite important. This stocking program that we've got is going to increase with the pressure of the fishing. And I think the outcome of ice fishing is going to get better every year due to the fact that the ministry is doing a fine job on restocking restocking Lake Simcoe.
You're not worried about the greenhouse effect?
Well, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Some years when you get a good year, like you have this year, like we were out near ice this year, 1st of January. So in my particular area, it didn't bother us too much. But on the other side of the lake, we had a little bit of problem over there. But on our side, it seemed to be all right. And then, as years go on, I believe that it will. The winters are getting shorter, and then it'll just be a shorter season. It'll just be that it's going to be possibly, instead of a 10-week period, it'll probably be an 8-week period.
Well, maybe people will have a longer fishing time in the summertime.
Well, that's possibly true there, that's for sure. That's for sure. They'll have more time in the winter. If everything goes the way it has been, it's a nice season. It's as we say, it's a 10-week period, and we get a lot of people up here that seem to really enjoy things. So this is about all that you can say about the environment has kept Lake Simcoe relatively clean, and with our customers, when we try to do, excuse me, what we try to do is, everybody that takes out food and stuff and beverages or whatever, we try to clean up, keep it as clean as possible, because there has been surveys taken and Simcoe is apparently number 2 on the list of clean lakes, including lakes as far as Lake of the Woods. There's more pollution in the lakes in the Lake of the Woods than there is on Lake Simcoe. This is from quite a few surveys that do that.
And that's despite the fact that we do have a heavy concentration of population in some of that area.
Yes, but I think what keeps Lake Simcoe actually cleaner than the other lakes is not as much industry. And they aren't dumping chemicals and so on and so forth into the lake. So this is why we've got a proud lake actually. Something to look after.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips.
And thank you.
We've heard from the 3 hut operators, and now we'll talk to one of our local fishermen. How long did it take you to get to this tonight?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. You out here regularly?
Yep, every day.
Oh boy. What are you catching this year?
My biggest hit right yet has been pickerel and dogfish, ling.
Oh, do you eat them?
No, I don't eat them, but I bring them in and give them to anybody that wants them.
Uh-huh. So how much do you figure this fellow weighs?
About 9 pounds.
Oh boy. Is this all for your own use, or?
Oh yeah. Well, this one here goes to Jim there, my buddy.
Okay, anything you'd like to say about ice fishing? Have you seen it change any since you've been fishing here?
Well, when I first started to fish here, we used to go out in Model A Fords. So that was a good many years ago.
What about the catches that you're getting now? Do you see a difference in what you're getting now from what you used to?
Big shot all you wanted at one time.
Uh-huh.
Now they're limited to 2 each day.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get 6 of these fellas.
Uh-huh. Well, when I say, do you see any difference, I mean in the weight of what you're getting,
No,
or
no, I
the
don't
kinds
think
that's still
I
pretty
don't
much the
think
same?
We always got big fish out here.
Oh boy. Well, you certainly got a dandy with this one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Today.
When do you want us to go? Okay, well, whereabouts have you come from?
Erie, PA.
You come up here every year?
Yeah, we've been coming up here for about 3 years now.
Uh-huh. You
We
catching
come
much?
up in October too, me and my dad.
Uh-huh. You getting much this year?
Well, what you see there, about 6 of them, I guess.
Uh-huh.
There's a few.
But that's just today.
Yeah.
So by the time you go back home, how much of a catch will you figure you'll like to have?
Oh, maybe the same amount again tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
That's about it.
Mhm.
We're out here just to get away from everything. You know? Have a good time.
This
Don't
is
really care if we get fish or not.
So this is a good place to get away to.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you've only been coming up here in 3 years, have you seen any changes in each year?
Oh, not really. We haven't really fished enough to really notice, I guess.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I say, we come up here maybe once or twice a year for a weekend, that's it. About all the vacation I get.
Well,
Gotta work too much for any more than that.
it looks like a good way to spend it.
Oh yeah.
Thanks very
We
much.
have fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it's these guys.
This one about a half hour ago, this one maybe about 10 o'clock this morning.
Uh-huh. And what do you call those monsters?
These are called ling cods. Family that's from there. I think more coarse fish than anything else, but they're pretty good eating.
Oh, so when you say coarse fish, that doesn't mean that you don't eat them.
Oh no, you can still eat them.
Uh-huh.
No, they're fine.
You fish up here most every year?
I've never been up before. This is
Oh.
my first year.
First time luck?
First time up, first time ice fishing, so I didn't know what to expect, but this is what to expect. I'm impressed with ice fishing.
Uh-huh.
There's a couple of
Well, what made
Couple
you think
little
about coming
smells
ice
and-
fishing to start with? I mean, if this is the
a
first...
bunch of guys from down home. They've come up here a few times, so
Uh-huh.
they asked me to come up.
Where's down home?
Rumble. It's down the other side, down by Woodstock.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Do you have any idea how deep it is under here?
I think we're down probably about 40 feet. Yeah, they can judge with the line.
So you and your buddies will be here for what, a day more, 2 days?
Now we can 24 hours, so we'll be here till tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and then I guess we'll head back for home. looks like we're gonna have a mess of fish to clean, but
Oh, well, a lot of eating for quite a few
certainly
meals.
quite a few, yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
From the last fish shot out to a large pressure crack on Lake Simcoe. Now, Brad will tell you a little bit about pressure cracks.
Well, there's something that you should watch out for. They can open and close in a matter of a couple of hours. They can go as wide as 30 feet at times and close right up again within an hour or two. And it's something that if you're coming out in the lake on your own without a licensed fish hut operator, it's something that you should check with the operators first before you come out onto the lake.
So this is over and beyond just the local ice conditions, which may have been reported on the radios, okay, that there's lots of ice.
There's a lot of ice. There's a lot of ice on both sides, and like I say, at times you have to be wary of them. And it's something to check first and make sure before you try and venture across them.
Okay, I think considering the temperature, one of the coldest days of '89.
That's much warmer. You've been watching History in the Making, which has been sponsored by the Beaverton Thora Eldon Historical Society. We would like to thank the fish hut operators who have taken time at what is a very busy season for them to share their thoughts with us today. I'd like to thank Mr. Brad Tanney, who has been helpful both in front of and behind the camera. I'd like to thank my husband, Jerry Ayers, the camcorder, and the History Committee for supporting this project. I'm Laura Ayers for the History Committee, Beaverton Thora Eldon Historical Society. Good fishing for '89.